All right, Shalom. All right, Shalom. All right, we'll start this off giving all honor, praise, and glory to the Heavenly Father in the name of the Son, Yahweh, Basham, Hashai, Wahab, Bashakah, Wadi, Yahweh, Basham, Hashai, for the Holy Spirit, which allows me to do these lessons. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone of Israel, and double honors of aka Yasha Allah, and double honors to all the hopefully elect elders and apostles. All right, Shalom to all you all you brothers, true brothers, and teachers, you true prophets, and you men, women, and children who believe also in our aid in this ministry, truth and sincerity. Those slated to be saved, hoping to be saved, which would be none other than the elect and 1/3 of the Israelite race. You / the so-called Black, Latinos, and Native American Indians, West Indians, Seminole Indians, and so-called African people that truly have repented and are back in on the truth of the matter. All right, Shalom. This is the 69th volume of Up and Adam, and I'm going to get straight into this scripture. So let's go here real quick. You see the title, Let Every Man, be, pretty much convinced in his own mind. So that's pretty much what the scripture is saying. But anyway, this is Romans 4:14-5. One man esteemeth one day above another. Another esteemeth every day alike. Right? So everybody got, an outlook, man. But basically it says, and it's one truth, nonetheless it says, let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Obviously, to the one thing we ought to recognize. All right. And we're going to get that word persuaded really quick. This won't be long. Yeah, kind of.
4135. Plerafareo.
And it means what? It says, convince one. See, fully convinced or assured. All right. So yeah, you basically got times where you're gonna have like trying to get someone to see something or what you may see, and it might not be clear, it might not be there. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a save time. This is as far as wisdom goes. You know what I'm saying? Some wisdom that deals with saving yourself time. And frustration. You have to understand. We have to understand that every man. You want to let every man be fully convinced in his own mind. So you don't try to go out of your way trying to get somebody to see something, trying to tell somebody something, trying to talk, and they're not really there. You know what I'm saying? That comes down to this: letting every man be fully persuaded in his own mind, and that means really fully convinced. All right, go into it, and then obviously to the one thing that that it is to be recognized. But when somebody can't see it, you know what I'm saying? That's when this should come in play. Like, all right, check them out. Because they might not necessarily do it full, they just probably don't see it. You know what I'm saying? But this is why the scriptures talk about not being unequally yoked. This is why the scriptures talk about not perceiving within the lips, not in a man the lips of knowledge, depart from him, because it's gonna pretty much you're gonna be able to get rest at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Let's go here. I'll get this until the end. This is let's see. trying to find this scripture. I want to say it's, let's go here. Sorry, right. 26. 19. You know, I'll get it. It's all about spirit. I'll get it. Anyway, Sirach 4. And I'm going to start it. Let's get to the point and I might jump up. This is verse 46, 26. Be not ashamed to confess thy sins and force not the course of the river. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I find myself in times where you try to show somebody something, get somebody to see something, they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And all it's going to do is just bring, you know what I'm saying, frustration. But that's when the scripture's supposed to kick in, the spirit's supposed to kick in. You're supposed to be able to identify what something is. You know, whether or not they have the lips of knowledge or it's just they just not fully convinced. So, you know, I'm not a guy about wasting time. So, you know, you save yourself time. You know, I'm the last guy that, you know, would go to the moon and back for somebody that's not willing to take the trip, you know, or take in what has been brought him back. You see what I'm saying? What was obtained and brought him back. And once I see that, that's it. But obviously, you know, if that's not the case, I'll go to the moon and back. You see what I'm saying? So, which we're supposed to do, you know? Yeah, Howard, that's basically how Shot did. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it says, be not ashamed to confess thy sins and for it. Because really, that would be a sin if you're not letting every man be persuaded or convinced in his own mind. As men, women, you know, children, you just leave it alone, man. It says, that's why it says, enforce not the course of the river. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a river going one direction. It's only, so you can't try to go against the tide. Like, whatever direction it's headed, that's what direction it's going to head. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, let the flow be the flow. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no stagnation. You know, there's a lot of verses in this chapter that pretty much go into it. Like, for example, I'll go into 23. It says, and refrain not to speak when there is occasion to do good, and hide not thy wisdom in her beauty. So you don't, you know, not say something because you see somebody off top and get it. You try to, you might see it, you point it out, and if it ain't being picked up, it ain't resting, leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? For by speech wisdom shall be known, and learning by the word of the tongue. You see, you'll be able to know if they have pretty much the lips of knowledge, because it says, for by speech wisdom shall be known. Who got wisdom? And learning by the word of the tongue, you'll be able to know who's been learning based off what people are saying, if they get it. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you'll be able to understand if they learned, you know, what you're trying to tell them based off their response. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not, you're gonna hear it. And maybe you need to try to correct how you explaining it, or maybe they're just not fully convinced. So you just save time by allowing that scripture to allowing that to be, you know, letting every man be convinced in his own mind. So anyway, we go ahead and get this. This is Sirach in the 18th chapter. And it says what? Verse 28, every man of understanding knoweth wisdom, see, and will give praise unto him that found her. So you'll have times where it may seem like no one knows what the hell you're talking about. That don't mean you don't, you know. This is why I was going to say don't be unequally yoked. You see what I'm saying? Because there's a vexation in spirit. You're trying to talk to people in the world that don't get it. You might be trying to talk to brothers, women, whoever the hell, you know, parents. They're not. It's every man of understanding knoweth wisdom. See what I'm saying? So if you truly, because it say wisdom shall be known, jumping back, and say what? Sirach 4 and 24, for by speech wisdom shall be known. So when you start talking, somebody truly know wisdom, they're gonna be able to like, yeah, that's wisdom. They're gonna be able to identify what you're saying and like, yeah, that's it. you know, and likewise to you too. It says, and learning by the word of the tongue. So jumping back, Sirach 18 and 28, every man of understanding knoweth the wisdom. See, only men of understanding, you know, and it might just be not on that. It may not. It probably just. It might not be on that level just yet. All right, you know what I'm saying? They understand it, you know. But this is why scripture don't be unequally yoked, because it's one, you might be overbearing. Two, they might not be able to meet you, reciprocate. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's no point. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're outright being taught or receiving what you're saying. Like just because somebody isn't on the same level of knowledge you are, but if they're able to sit and receive it and show you through their speech that they're learning what you're saying, that's when you could deal like that. But somebody that's not, they don't even have the capacity to take in what you're saying, hold on to what you're saying, follow you, you leave it alone there, you know, except the course of the river. You know, anyway, every man of understanding knoweth the wisdom and will give praise unto him that found her. So you'll know, you know what I'm saying, if that's the case, you know, if what you're saying is, you know what I'm saying, is being convinced, persuading, or convincing, based off if they're giving praise unto you, you know. But if someone's just not, you know, there's nothing there, it's like crickets, you know, you just, that's just basically, you know, how you deal, you know. You got to be able. It's just discernment. You know what I'm saying? It's just discernment. All right. So yeah, that's basically it. I had another scripture I did want to get. Let's see. Yeah, calm. It's all right. 21. Yeah, beautiful. It's tough. It's all right. 21 and 16. I'll get this too. This is verse 12. He that is not wise will not be taught, but there is wisdom which multiplies bitterness. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't be trying to apply, you know, your knowledge to, you know, areas it's not going to be, you know what I'm saying? It just don't make no sense. You're going to multiply bitterness. Like in a sense, you're trying to, you know, convince someone that's not convinced. You got to let them be convinced in their own mind. And that really creates a authentic, genuine, you know, environment. You letting things be like that. You don't want somebody like, yeah, I get it. They don't get it. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have those times, this is how it's supposed to go. So it's, but ultimately, he that is not wise will not be taught. Someone is just not able to. It is not. It's just, you know, these will be people in the world. Shouldn't be brothers or, you know, people that say they believe. You know what I'm saying? But he that is not wise will not be taught. So they're not going to what? Go back 4 and 24. It's all right, 4 and 24. For by speech wisdom shall be known, and learning by the tongue, by the word of the tongue. So they're not going to learn. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to learn because they're not wise. It says, for by speech, wisdom shall be known. All right, so that's just dealing with people in the world. You know, they're not going to learn, man. Just accept it. All right, because he's not wise. You know, if someone, in order for someone to learn, first they got to be taught, right? And it says what? Sirach 4 and 24, for by speech wisdom shall be known, right? And everybody, that man of understanding, knows wisdom when he hears, right? So they're like, oh, they know what you're talking about. They're like, oh, I know what you're talking about. But anyway, learning by and learning by the word of the tongue. Now, you can't learn without someone teaching, all right? And you'll be able to tell somebody's learning based off the response they're getting it. So he that is not wise will not be taught. So they're not going to be taught at all. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to hear them give you words back, and they're not going to go on to be taught, because you just got some people that's not wise. But there is a wisdom which multiplies bitterness. And that's these people way in the world. And then that's you trying to, you don't want to shoot for wisdom all the time. All right. But anyway, the knowledge of a wise man shall abound like a flood. You know what I'm saying? And his counsel like a pure fountain of life. They say you can bring a horse to the water, now you can't, but you can't make it drink. The inner parts of a fool are like a broken vessel, and he will hold no knowledge as long as he liveth. See that? And you leave those people alone. Let them be convinced in their own mind. They'll be convinced, at some point, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be after death by pain or eventually, on the day of thy power. Anyway, like people shall be willing, he says. Psalms 110th chapter. But anyway, last verse 15. If a skillful man hear a word, someone that learned, pretty much that got seasoned, they done developed in this truth. They say if a skillful, that makes them skillful. They know how to play this. They know how to play this word. They know how it all works. They know how to they just know. They know how to bring the word out, how to make it make sense. They know, where to apply it, when to apply it, how to apply it. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. See that? But as soon as one of no understanding hear it displeased him, and he casted it behind his back. And that's my point. Yeah, so that's that. You'll be able to know who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Off of these certain responses or actions. If the words bringing out displeases somebody, they might be a fool, man. You see what I'm saying? But they say the talking of a fool is like a burden in the way. Because you'll have people that try to make you feel like what you're bringing out is a burden, or it's bothersome. Nah, they just might be, fools, or just, younger believers in his faith. But it says, that's a foolish thing still, but it says talking of a fool. But you gotta be convinced in your own mind. If you don't get it, you don't get it. There's nothing wrong with that. The talking of a fool is like a burden in the way, but grace shall be found in the lips of the wise. And this will be grace. You're like, okay, you'll get your time to get it. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is. All right, so with that, I'm going to close out and give all honor, praise, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Hashem, Al-Shah, Al-Bashakah, Holy Spirit, thanks down for the